I'm a hobbyist magician, and recently I had to learn 7 tricks in 1 week, or I would be very sad because I needed to have them ready for a bunch of videos that I was recording, and I did not want to waste time because I already had wasted a ton of time. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I did that, how I learned 7 card tricks in a week, and for people that don't know, that's pretty tough. You can technically learn like a good chunk of card tricks in like a day, but they're probably not going to look nice and you're probably going to fail them a bunch when you show them to people. These card tricks are very finicky, and doing them over and over and over again is what irons the finics out until eventually you can have it smooth every time. And 7 days isn't a lot of time to do that. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. First thing I did was I tried to look for all the tricks I want to learn. I put them in a to-do list type thing, just like a list with some boxes I could X out once I learned them. And when I was looking at the videos, I was looking to be able to do 2 things. First thing is I just wanted to be able to do the first trick once. I wanted to be able to do it once. Once you have done it once, then after that, you're just trying to figure out everything you're doing right, everything you're doing wrong, rewatching the video, looking for anything the magician isn't seeing or saying, and you're just trying to iron out all those kinks. You want to figure out, if I do this, this, and this, it works every time. If I do any of these things, it instantly fails. You want to figure out all of those, and it's mostly trial and error and just remembering things until eventually you have the solution to the trick. You know what you do to get the desired outcome of the trick of it working right. And you know that if you do all these other things, it won't work. And after that, you're just trying to get it smooth. You're trying to get your muscles used to it. You're trying to get a ton of muscle memory. That way you can do it in front of a camera, in front of someone, in front of whatever, even if it's just in front of yourself. So I did that. I looked out for all the things. I started to do it once, and I did it twice and 3 times. And I looked for all the things that would make it go wrong, all the things that would make it go right. And then once I was ready to finally start practicing it and getting it smooth, I just started watching YouTube and anime because I'm not a like grind set mindset, like no music, no nothing, no anything. I get distracted, I procrastinate just like pretty much anyone else. And I started to learn the first trick until eventually I had it learned. I had it smooth. I had it to something that I would like. And then after that, I started to do that to the second trick. Then I got bored and I started to learn the third trick and fourth trick until I could do it once and I didn't have them smooth. So at that point, I just had a bunch of tricks that I half knew, and I just spent the entire day ironing out each one of them. And I don't think that's actually a bad thing, because if you're bored of a trick and you keep practicing it, it's going to rebound. You're going to get burnt out. Something's going to happen. You're not going to want to do it, so you won't. So I think switching to a different thing and learning it is a valid option to learn tricks faster than you would have, because I'm not in a state where I can just focus on one thing, get all the way through it, and do it. And I think it's important for people to look at that and be able to realize when that's them. Because for 3 years, I tried to just work really hard, work past my limits, and do all this, and it never worked because I'm just not built like that, and I felt like a imposter for quitting on that and quitting trying to work like that. And ever since then, my productivity has gone way up because I just couldn't fit the square peg into the circle hole, and now I'm doing that, and that's what I did there. I figured out that something wasn't working, so I started doing something else, and then eventually I was able to learn all 3 of those tricks and smooth them out. in one day. I learned each of the beginning parts just doing it once until eventually I just had a day of just don't do anything, just practice card tricks, watch videos, just get them smooth. And then the rest of the tricks were pretty similar to that. I just learned each one individually. And then I started to iron them out and get them really smooth. That's how I learned those 7 card tricks in a week. That is the glossary. It's the gloss over. I think there's a lot to be said about trying too hard to make yourself be a certain way and it being to your detriment. And that's something that I've learned a lot recently, where there are many people that can work for 8 hours a day on one thing, 12 hours a day on one thing, even if it's boring. And even when I set up my life to be the perfect setting for that, the perfect environment for it, I didn't do it. I just burned out immediately, no matter what I did, going slower over time, getting rid of all distractions, even getting rid of all distractions for like weeks on end. It never worked. Like these people, they say that dopamine will get lower and your baseline will get reset to what you were doing. But that's just straight up not fucking true. Prisoners are unhappy for a reason. Their baseline didn't reset. People that work how many ever hours, like they're sad too. That's not like a universal thing. Maybe it works for some people, but I just want to find what works for me. And to be honest, I don't want to be the person that can push themselves through boredom and only live boredom for how many ever years until I get good at whatever I'm trying to get good at. Because I think the person that I will be on the other side wouldn't be a fun one and wouldn't be someone that I'd want to be around. So, in card tricks in life, if you are doing something and it continuously is not working, maybe you should try something else, something that is even easier. And sometimes you'll find that when you allow yourself to do something easier, you'll get more done than if you tried to do the hard thing over and over and over again. Because burning yourself out over and over and over is much slower than even just like an hour of unfocused work a day or 2 hours of unfocused work a day, and it's much less detrimental to your health. So if you are trying things over and over and over and they're not working, do something else. I think that's it for this video. I think it's a half side tangent, but I think it's important. Have a wonderful night.